For those of you that don't know who Michele Yvette Avila is, if I didn't pronounce her name correctly, I apologize. Sending my condolences to her and her family. She went by Missy. This was back in the Los Angeles County, back in like 1980s, mid 1980s to late 1980s. Michele was 17 years old and she was murdered by forcefully drowning by two of her best friends. And this story got very big because back in 1992, there was a documentary movie that was released called Killer Among Friends that was actually based on facts of the.
And they turned on Jenny and let her know that they were really against her.
Two of her friends were jealous of her because she was prettier, she got more attention. They started to accuse her of sleeping with their boyfriends. So they came up with this plan to meet up and pretend like they were fighting, right? And they were going to lure Michele, aka Missy, and another friend that was with them. It was a total of 4 girls this day, right? October 1st. They were pretending to fight, and then they got in the car and started to go up the mountains. And they were trying to scare Missy, to kind of frighten her. Well, when they got to the top of the Tujunga Mountains, they started to turn on Missy because Missy was trying to show, calm it down, things of that nature. Well, they started to tell Missy, actually, we are trying to come up against you and start to bully Missy. Well, that kind of escalated and kept escalating. And what's so crazy about this, like I said, these were two of her best friends, right? So one of those best friends used to always protect her because, other girls were hating on her, teenage years, high school, jealous of her. She was pretty. She was a very beautiful girl, had very beautiful hair and things of that nature. Well, the girl who was normally fighting for her was now about to be her demise and murder her. So they started to push her around and bully her and things of that nature. Well, then they lured her down to the creek. And the main person who had more of the hatred for her, who kind of conducted the whole idea to do this in the first place, well, she was in the water. She was telling Missy, come on, get in the water, things of that nature. And the one that was over there, because the other girl, because I know y'all probably wonder, where's the fourth girl? She was trying to get him to calm down. She saw that she couldn't do anything, so she ran back to the car. She stayed at the car while all of this was going down. It was like a trail down there to the creek, a shallow creek. Well, while the main one was in the water telling, come get in the water, the one that was normally fighting for her pushed her to the girl, like, yeah, go ahead and go to her. Just go to her. Well, they held her down. And then the one that was always fighting her battle, she's just like, no, I don't want to do this. So she let it go. And she was walking away while the other one was still holding her down. She looked back and saw her look up at her one more time and continued to walk off and left her there, right? And how do I know this? Is because both of these murderers are out today. This video is recorded July 2022. They are out. One of them served 20 years in prison. The other one served 23 years, if I'm not mistaken. But they're both out. One of them tried to tell their story by writing a book, and they ended up getting sued by Missy's family. So now there is this law in the state of California, I don't know about other states, where it's called Missy's Law. If a murderer or anyone trying to make any type of documentary or any type of product off of a murder victim, you have to contact the family. So that case or whatever. Well, this is a very sad case, and I feel like this touches me more because I was born in 1991, and I remember when I was a kid, this movie was on television on Lifetime, and I never knew what happened because I didn't get to finish it. I never knew the name of it, and it always stuck with me. And then now, me being 30, I found out the movie and this person, and I live now in Los Angeles, coming from Georgia. When I first saw that movie in the late 1990s, early 2000s, now I'm like, oh my God, I had to come and experience this. And I actually brought her flowers There were no flowers out here. I did see other graves with flowers, so I was like, hopefully this is not a problem. But I didn't know her favorite colors, but these are very bright. It was very feminine because she was a very feminine girl. I just wanted to come and just keep her story alive. And this is a story of basically don't trust anyone. Like, you have to be very cautious, guys. This is very sad, heartbreaking, because it's like, we all put our trust into people that could actually hurt us. Like, these were her best friends. And what's so twisted, one of the girls who killed her ended up somehow living with the mom and living in her bedroom, and no one figured that it was the two best friends, because you would think, like, why would the best friends kill her? They're looking at other people. They thought, she was raped. They thought this and all this. And how her body was found, check this out. Two men were hiking in the Tahunga Mountains, and they saw like hair coming down the stream, and then they looked and her body was under a log. After they drowned her, they put a fucking log over her, y'all, and left her body out there. And they went back and went to the funeral. They even gave her, at the funeral, they went to her funeral, was crying and everything. They even gave her family like a card with money in it. Like, how cruel is that? And it's just like, dang, these were her best friends. And like I was saying, though, people didn't think like it was her best friends, because you would think, like, why would your best friends kill you? She was so sweet or whatever. And then they're living with her family. Like, she murdered this girl and went and moved in with that girl's family. It was close to her mom, her grieving mother, and then slept in that girl's room, took over the girl's room. Like, it's crazy, y'all. Like, this story goes in depth. I'm going to link the movie down below, maybe the streaming service, but it's called Killer Among Friends. Y'all, to get more depth, I'm just kind of like scattering all over it because it's like so long, but it's just like, oh my God, like, this is a story to say not to trust anyone. You can't trust anybody, y'all. Prayers and condolences to Michele Yvette Avila, aka Missy. Like, girl, rest your soul. Like, only 17. You had some hating friends. Wow. And for you guys, I don't know exactly the section, but if you see this building and you see that building, this is the area you want to be in. And there's like this tree. There's that tree, this tree, and she's literally right there. Oh, but this is the area, so you can kind of know how to get here. It's right there. So look for that building, that parallel, or that building right there when you first come, because that's the entrance right there. So you're gonna come, and you're gonna come down this road, and then come right here, okay? And look for this tree next to that tree. Looks like an African type tree. And then she's right there.